Ultrawide gaming monitors are all the rage right now, but Samsung is taking it to another level. Their new 49-inch QLED gaming monitor is wider than anything we've seen before. It has a crazy 32:9 aspect ratio, which is even wider than the 21:9 ultrawide monitors we've seen already. And this is a monitor basically built for some extreme gaming. It has a 3840 by 1080 resolution, which is about half of what you'd see in a typical 4K display. It has a 144 Hz refresh rate and a 1 millisecond response time, which is really great for Twitch shooters or gamers who just really pay attention to how fast their displays are refreshing. It's part of Samsung's new QLED gaming line, which really just means it has really high contrast ratios. It's about 3,000 to 1, and the faster refresh rates that we were talking about. It basically puts this monitor a step ahead of Samsung's other monitors out there. It's also HDR compatible, which is great for newer games like Mass Effect Andromeda and Battlefield 1. It's also compatible with AMD's FreeSync technology, which means you'll get less screen tearing if you're getting frame rates below or above what you typically would want. So why would you want such a crazy wide monitor on your desk? Samsung says they're trying to replicate the 3 side-by-side monitor setup that some gamers use. And while not every game runs at this resolution, if you can configure a game to run 3 monitors side-by-side, it'll probably just run fine here. The key is that it makes the game just much more immersive than it is typically. I normally game on a 21:9 ultrawide monitor that's 34 inches, and I could even feel a much more immersive sense of place in Battlefield 1 and Mass Effect Andromeda with this monitor. And when it comes to gaming, this monitor just looks great all around. I played through the opening section of Battlefield 1. You could really see the HDR highlights of the sun in the sky and explosions and bullets all around you, but it's also a very fast and responsive monitor. I was moving my character around very quickly, just shooting a lot of enemies, and it definitely kept up with me. And since it's so wide, it just felt like I was really immersed in this game, and that's a game I've played quite a bit already. It's really interesting to see a difference with a much wider monitor. With Mass Effect Andromeda, you could really get a sense of how expansive the alien worlds are. Just moving around that game felt really silky smooth. And that's also a game that shows off HDR pretty well. And what HDR does, it basically lets you see brighter, bright levels, darker, dark levels. Mass Effect also has multiple suns in the sky, it has lightning flashes down on the ground, and you could really sense that. It felt like you were actually there while watching it on this monitor. The good thing about an ultrawide monitor like this is that you can also use it just for multitasking. You could have 3 windows set up side by side, so you could have your monitor, your email, and a chat application open. And it also has a really cool setting that lets you plug in another device and lets you run it side by side. So you could be running your laptop and a gaming desktop, or 2 laptops. You can actually set the aspect ratio and resolutions for each input too on their own. So you can have a ultra wide setup and a square setup, or 2 very wide screens side by side. And while we typically don't talk about on-screen displays for monitors, it really looks like Samsung paid attention and tried to give us a screen menu that's really easy to use, lets you hop between multiple custom settings so you could switch between modes for different games, and even just setting up those 2 displays side by side looked a lot easier than with a typical monitor menu. Overall, I'm really impressed by Samsung's 49-inch QLED gaming monitor. It looks like it can really help you with multitasking, but it's also just a great screen to play games on. At $14.99, it's expensive, but also not that much more than other ultra-wide monitors we've seen. 34-inch monitors typically go for around $1,000 and $1,200. Most monitors don't pack in all these features either. This one supports HDR, really fast refresh rate and response times, and AMD FreeSync and FreeSync 2. Most monitors don't pack in all of those different capabilities into a single screen. If you're in the market for a gaming monitor, it's definitely worth taking a look at all of these ultra-wide monitors out there, and the Samsung 49-inch is definitely worth a look.